Today, President Oulon and I agreed that our nations must do even more together.
This is KHQA News at 5, working for you.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for KHQA News at 5. Our top story, a shooting suspect is at large after another shooting in Quincy.
Quincy police responded to the 700 block of North 4th Street just before midnight. Let's send things over to the scene where KHQA's Michael Pilarchi is standing by. And Michael, walk us through the events which took place at this home.
Ross, Raja, the house directly behind me, as you can see, police responded to this home last night after they received a call of shots fired. Now, earlier today, I spoke with Deputy Chief Doug Vandermain, who says when officers arrived, they found a man with gunshot wounds who was pronounced dead on scene. Adams County Coroner Jim Kelly identifies the man as 48-year-old Carlos Wires. Now, police say this is not a random act of violence and an investigation is underway. Vandermain says crimes such as this one are essential in the early hours to find potential leads.
24 hours. They're just working nonstop on these type of cases to make sure we're not missing anything and we get as many details as we can. The neighborhood will notice an increase in police presence. When you have a tragic event like this in neighborhoods, we definitely want to be in there and make sure they're safe.
Now, police say if you have any information regarding the shooting, contact the Quincy Police Department or Crime Stoppers. Reporting live in Quincy, I'm Michael Pilarchi, KHQA News.
A Palmyra family is without a home tonight after a fire broke out this morning.
It started as a controlled trash burn, but spread to a carport and eventually the house. Palmyra Fire Assistant Chief Rick Jones says the call came in just before 11 this morning for a structure fire near Highway U. Now, the house is a total loss, but nobody was hurt. A family of 5 lives in the home as the Red Cross has been notified. Meanwhile, today, U.S. Congressman Darren LaHood paid a visit to the John Wood Community Workforce Development Center today.
He discussed federal initiatives to spur interest in high-tech careers and workforce education. KHQA's David Amilati joins us live in the studio after speaking with LaHood this morning.
Raja, LaHood spoke on topics ranging from enhancing the state's workforce, education, and transportation. He was given a complete tour of John Wood's facility with College President Michael Elby and staff. The tour displayed the short-term and associate degree programs and related training equipment funded in part by federal grants. Now, these grants help the region's students and workforce gain new skills and build vital careers in today's economy. While visiting Adams County today, LaHood commented on the nation's conflict over Syrian refugees.
There is no negotiating with ISIS. It's either they win or we win from our perspective. And so putting a pause on our immigration policy, I think, will help protect the homeland. We have to be assured that we're not letting in anybody that wants to harm America. And ISIS clearly has an agenda. They want to infiltrate America. And as the FBI director said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when this happens. And so
now, LaHood also made a visit to Pittsfield after his visit in Quincy and Adams County. Join us at 6 when I take you to a Tri-State event introducing 8th graders to working professionals as another way Adams County is grooming its future workforce. Reporting live in studio, David Amilati, KHQA News.
Meanwhile, France's president visited the White House today. He and President Obama spoke, offering the United States condolences after the attack on Paris nearly 2 weeks ago.
Now, the leaders also talked about looking for an expanded U.S. role in the battle against Islamic militants. Craig Boswell has the latest from the White House.
French President Francois Hollande met with President Obama at the White House to urge the international community to ramp up its fight against ISIS.
Today, President Oulon and I agreed that our nations must do even more together.
France intensified its campaign against ISIS after the militant group claimed responsibility for the terror attacks in Paris. Now Hollande is looking for even more firepower. He wants the U.S. and Russia to form a coalition to wipe out ISIS.
We want to gather all countries, all those who are willing to find and to implement a political solution in Syria.
Forming a coalition could be a challenge for the Obama administration, skeptical of Russian President Vladimir Putin's intentions in Syria and his strong support of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
Russia's the outlier. We hope that they refocus their attention on what is the most substantial threat.
After his White House visit, President Hollande heads to Moscow to meet with President Putin. Russia has been hitting targets in Syria, but the U.S. says the strikes are hitting rebels fighting Syrian President Assad. Russia's presence in Syria was complicated today when Turkey shot down one of its warplanes after claiming it flew into Turkish airspace. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
President Putin calls the incident a stab in the back. Now it remains to be seen if Russia will retaliate. Well, within the past 18 months, U.S. federal and local authorities have taken dozens of people into custody suspected of having ties to ISIS. According to the Daily Mail, some of the men and women that have been arrested entered the U.S. as refugees. Find out tonight on KHQA News at 10 how many extremists with ties to ISIS have actually been arrested in the U.S. in recent months.
Now, your exclusive 7 Storm Team forecast.
And we're looking at pretty mild conditions out there right now, especially for late November. As that wind starts to increase out of the south, we're going to see that moisture level picking up. It's all ahead of a pretty powerful storm system that is going to approach our area here in the next few days. We'll take a look outside right now. Currently 51 degrees in Quincy. You can see the wind starting to pick up a little bit of light breeze out of the east-southeast at 11 miles per hour. We're also going to watch that dew point start to climb up a little bit as we take a look at current conditions across the tri-states. Cooler temperatures to the north where we've seen temperatures all day cooler up there. Macomb, the cool spot at 44 degrees. Some of us still in the mid-50s. Hannibal and Pittsfield, the warm spots at 54. There are the clouds. We're going to continue to see those clouds stream in from the west. Again, that's ahead of a storm system approaching our area. We'll drop down to 44 degrees in Quincy. It's going to be a mild night, and those clouds will continue to thicken up as that breeze stays with us from the south at 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, more clouds on the way. Outside chances for showers in the afternoon. Highs will climb into the 50s, and we'll see that breeze from the south at 15 miles per hour. I'll tell you what your forecast looks like for Thanksgiving Day and your weekend, all coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes. Ross, Raja?
Thanks, Dave. Well, still to come with holiday shopping and Thanksgiving coming up, you might be looking for ways to save money on that Thanksgiving dinner. We'll look at the cost of Thanksgiving dinner and how it stacks up to years past. That's next.
I'm Allison Starling at the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington. The search is now on for a man wanted for being an accomplice to the Paris attacks. This is Mohamed Abrini. He allegedly drove one of the bombers to the attack and then abandoned the car in a Paris neighborhood. Meanwhile, today, President Obama and French President Francois Hollande stood together at the White House in a show of solidarity.
This barbaric terrorist group, ISIL or Daesh, and its murderous ideology pose a serious threat to all of us. It cannot be tolerated, it must be destroyed, and we must do it together.
And we have also learned 2 suspects killed in one of the Paris raids were planning a suicide attack in the city's financial district. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Allison Starling.
Watching KHQA News at 5, working for you.
Thanksgiving is just 2 days away, and this year you might be spending a little more on traditional items. The national average of Thanksgiving dinner is up 70 cents from a year ago.
Jamie Hayden with our sister station KRNV went Thanksgiving shopping to check out the prices.
Well, your Thanksgiving meal might be up just a tad this year, according to the American Farm Bureau Federation. To feed 10 people, it costs an average of $50.11. Let's go check it out and see how much it costs.
You can't feed 10 people on $50.
$50 for 10 people, that sounds a little bit suspect.
I would say it's probably a little on the light side.
I doubt it. We use the Farm Bureau's Thanksgiving checklist. There are 11 items on it, plus a section for miscellaneous ingredients. We begin with a big ticket item, a 16-pound turkey. National average is $23.04 this year. Our turkey costs $32.38. Next, 3 pounds of sweet potatoes. Average price $3.57, ours $5.97. Moving on to pumpkin pie. Technically, we're supposed to get 30 ounces of pumpkin pie mix, and this is only 29 ounces, but I think that'll be okay. Its average cost is $3.20. Our price just a tad less at $2.99. Then we'll need 2 pie shells for the mix. Average price $2.47. We spent $3.98. Moving on to whipping cream. Average half a pint is $1.94. Our cost $1.99. A gallon of milk. Average cost $3.25. We spent $3.99. Moving on to rolls. Average cost $2.25. Ours $2.99. Next, cranberries. The average cost $2.29. We spent $2.50. Green peas. Average price $1.52. Ours $1.59. A relish tray. Average price 79 cents. Ours $3.68. One of the most popular items, stuffing. Average cost $2.61. We spent $5. And finally, miscellaneous ingredients cost $3.18. Let's see how much this is all going to cost. Well, we tried our hardest, but we didn't quite make the $50 cut. Our grand total, $70.24, and that's without tax. All grocery stores vary in prices, but several customers we spoke with tell us they also spent more than the national average.
Probably $200.
$60, $70 probably.
Probably spent close to $300 between everything.
About $100. You have to do it if you want to keep the tradition.
Well, we're looking at a few clouds streaming in from the west right now. Tranquil weather for tonight. Things are going to change. I'll explain coming up next.
If you have a car that you really care about, you put it away for the winter. There's no point in getting your baby covered in rain and snow and sleet and salt, right? But before you put it away, there are a few things that you can do to help it survive its hibernation. Keep a charger on your battery. They're a lot less expensive than getting a new battery every year. You should also put a fuel stabilizer in the tank. That prevents gas from going stale and gunking up your fuel system. Consider a car cover too. It's so easy to have something bump into your pride and joy, even when it's just sitting there minding its own business. And don't forget to wash it. Put it away clean so it'll be ready and waiting for you when the weather warms back up. Need any more tips to store your car? Well, we've got lots to share when you visit one of our trusted car care pros here in town.
Now, your exclusive 7 Storm Team forecast.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Our Sleep Tight Weather View takes us out to the west coast and the Bay Area there, where they're kind of getting a little bit of rain there. A soggy morning as the commuters went out on their daily commute. And, well, that's pretty much winter for them. They don't get too much snow out in the Bay Area there, so that's pretty typical for that area. We got a little bit of snow a few days ago, and we're not looking at too much snow here in the coming days. We're looking at a little bit of rain. As our temperatures, well, they're pretty warm for this time of year. Our high today was 58 degrees in Quincy. That is 11 degrees, above our average. Our low 34 degrees, just a few degrees above our average. First time I've seen a negative temperature for the record. We got down to -1 on this day back in 1950. Look at the allergy index, just low concentrations of mold spore and a low concentration of tree pollen out there right now. Now, take a look at the Macomb sky cam as the sun goes down. Temperatures falling a little bit. They're 44 degrees. Still see just a little bit of twilight out there. Dew point at 40 degrees. It's starting to come up a little bit. The moisture starting to come up in the area. Those winds are starting to turn out of the south right now, currently that are east-southeast at 8 miles per hour. And as we look at our temperatures, you can see warmer to the south here in the mid-50s down in Hannibal and for you in Pittsfield. It's been cooler to the north. Fort Madison and Macomb right now in the mid-40s, and we've been seeing that for the past few days. And you wonder why? Well, I wanted to show you. I took a satellite loop from 10 a.m. to noon today, and it really shows you exactly where that snowpack is from last weekend's snowstorm. They got a lot of snow up to the north, and well, the temperature or the snow doesn't allow those temperatures to rise whatsoever up there. So you're seeing very cold temperatures around the Quad Cities, and some of that colder air is sneaking into our northern counties. That's why it's been much cooler up for Fort Madison and Macomb than it has been for our southern viewers, where we've seen temperatures on average about 10 degrees warmer than we have for our northern viewers. Now we'll look at our satellite and radar. You can't see the snow on this one because this one's specifically designed to look at night so we can see the clouds, but you can see some high clouds now moving in from the west. It's going to be dry though, and we're going to remain dry here for the next 12 to 16 hours or so. We're going to watch an approaching system back from the west. There is the satellite picture and radar from the central part of the country. You can see not too much going on, but big changes are in store. Remember showing you that rain out in the Bay Area? You can see big dip in the jet stream here. Those fast winds aloft about 20,000 feet above our head. Big low pressure area here. This guy is going to move towards our area over the next 24 hours or so. It's going to create low pressure at the surface. That's going to increase our southerly winds. That's going to increase the cloud cover and our rain chances. Outside chances for rain tomorrow, however, as this low pressure area at the surface makes its way towards us. Thanksgiving Day, cold front, big time rains could be moving into our area, especially by Thanksgiving evening. So as we look at our Thanksgiving forecast, yeah, I like that turkey there. I'm not sure if he's wearing a football helmet or what there, but should be a good Thanksgiving for terms of temperatures. Get pretty warm into the lower 60s, very warm, but unfortunately lots of rain out there. Could see some pretty significant rain totals. So this weekend behind that cold front, much cooler weather, highs, in the low 40s with outside chances for rain again Saturday and Sunday. Low temperatures tonight, pretty mild out there. Lows in the upper 30s to mid 40s, and the high temperatures tomorrow will get down or up. I'm very confused today. We'll get up into the low to mid 50s. The 7-day forecast, again, pretty warm the next few days here, and then the cold front comes through. Temperatures will drop, and chances for rain through the week and through the weekend into early next week. Looks like temperatures will be too warm for snow, so we're just going to have to deal with the cold rain, I think, through the next few days.
I was able to go outside without a coat today.
Yeah,
that's a nice change.
It's pretty warm for late November, no doubt.
Well, still ahead, a gospel songwriting legend is coming to the tri-state. Susie Kaiser is here to tell us all about Tracy Dart's visit. That's next on KHQA News at 5.
You're watching KHQA News at 5, working for you.
Well, Susie Kaiser drove all the way from Frankfort, Missouri, and we are so glad you did. You are instrumental in bringing an artist to the Hannibal, Frankfort areas, and it's this Sunday. Tell me about it.
Well, I first heard the song a few years ago, God on the Mountain. Tracy Dart wrote the song, and I heard it, and it touched me, and I wrote him a letter and told him that I would love to meet him in person and tell him how much the song meant to me, and he decided to come up this way. So it's the Darts, and they are going to sing at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Hannibal this Sunday morning at 10:40, and then his group will come to Frankfort at 6 p.m. Sunday evening and sing.
And so is there a fee associated with this?
No, it's free to the public. They will take up a free will offering. But no, it's free to the public.
And you were telling me about this song, and it's also a movie, correct?
Yes. Tracy, he's most known for the God on the Mountain song. He's the author of God on the Mountain. And they did a movie about it because the song has touched so many people. And I was one, like I said, that the song really touched me. It has such a wonderful message. And when he travels all over North America. His group, sharing his love of Jesus Christ, and he shares that through his music and his testimony, and how this song came to be, because he was going through a very difficult time in his life, and he said God gave him this song, and it's touched many people. And so I'm excited that the man that wrote the God on the Mountain song is coming to our area.
And you were showing me that Linda Randall has sung it before, and Linda Randall has sung a lot in the Gaither Band, and she also was a guest at Hannibal LaGrange University just last year.
Yes, a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and a big crowd came to see her, and she the song God on the Mountain, I think, really helped her career. You know, she's kind of known as the one that sings the God on the Mountain, and so. Anyway, I'm excited that they're coming. It's Tracy, he's a Baptist minister, and his wife Sharon, and his son Stone, and B.J. Spears, the son of Billy Spears.
Okay, and again, that is this Sunday. That's all the information there on your screen. Sunday morning, it is at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Hannibal, and then the band, the group is going to head to Frankfort, Missouri. So the times are listed there on your screen.
At Adele Baptist Church.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now here's a look ahead at what's coming up next on the CBS Evening News.
Here's the CBS Evening News tonight. Turkey shoots down a Russian warplane. We'll tell you why it happened and examine the implications in the fight against ISIS. Plus, a white Chicago cop has been charged with murdering this black teenager. Another case caught on camera. Those stories tonight on the CBS Evening News.
3 family members and a school teacher butchered with an axe. The 1912 Adams County murder case is alive and well today, cited in 80 court cases throughout 100 years. Tonight's cold case takes you to Payson more than 100 years ago.
Ray is the reason you can't kill your parents and inherit the farm.
It's on KHQA's News at 10 for a look at the mass murder outside of Payson, why no one was ever convicted, and why the 100-year-old case is anything but outdated in today's courtroom.
Looking forward to that story tonight at 10. And hey, you know, with Thanksgiving coming up, it can be easy to forget the reasons behind the holiday. Well, preschoolers at St. Peter's School in Quincy have learned all about Thanksgiving the past few weeks through storybooks and music. And today, students in Mrs. Griffith's 4-year-old preschool class performed 11 songs and skits for parents and their grandparents. Griffith says at this age, students can't learn history by reading a history book themselves, so they instead do it by learning songs. The music told the story of how the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock and had the first Thanksgiving with Native Americans. I always like the paper bag turkeys. Those are good costumes.
I
Yeah.
always loved putting my hand on a piece of paper and drawing the turkey.
Yeah.
And then all kinds of fun projects during art class during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. You probably remember being there. I remember doing those kind of things, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Always a fun project.
Yeah, I wasn't very creative. I kind of remember that.
I mean, neither was I. That's all right. Though.
I was the kid who always drew outside the line there. I don't know what's wrong with me.
How did they do things in Oklahoma?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I love today's weather, Dave.
It's pretty nice out there. It's a little warm, cooler to the north because of that snowpack up to our northern neighbors. But yeah, it's been dry. That's going to change though. We're going to see rain in the area, maybe some heavy amounts, especially unfortunately for Thanksgiving evening. So we'll get those umbrellas out and get those rain jackets out and keep a smile on our face.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a half hour on KHQA News at 6.